This episode gets pretty hairy as some furry guests try to take over our set. Plus, our roving reporter Maxwell becomes scientist for the day. And watch some special nurses put their best feet forward.
Hello everyone, welcome to Juice TV. It is Pip, and as you can see, we are joined by some slightly different, very unusual looking special hosts today. Let's get to meet them, shall we?
Hi, I'm Arnold. I have a tooth, and this is my big brother.
Hi, I'm Owen, and he got a tooth first. I'm 5.
Very cute.
Hello, I am Boris, and this is my furry friend.
Hello, I'm Frederica. I'm also 5, and it's also lovely to see you all.
Oh, it is so lovely to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, behind our furry friends, we have some very lovely people. We've got Hannah, Blair, Lorraine, and Maeve joining us. Guys, it's so great to have you here. So much colour, so much energy.
Yes, awesome.
I have a feeling it's going to be quite a noisy episode, but we cannot have any guests on our show without doing the one, the only quick questions. What do you say, guys?
Let's do this.
My favorite hobby is water skiing, but I'm not very good yet because I've never been near water.
I love Lego. I like building model airplanes with my brother.
Yeah.
I like eating biscuits and then going to the park and playing some basketball.
My favorite hobby is dancing. I love dancing, every kind of dance move there is. My favorite movie character is Elsa because I love singing Let It Go with her. She's so great.
So do I. My favorite character is Elmo from Sesame Street because he is my best friend and I love calling him and having a good old chat.
I love Elmo.
Yeah. My favorite movie character is Dorothy because her shoes are fabulous.
Fabulous.
My favorite character is Mike Wachowski because he's green like me.
Yeah, he's green like you.
My favorite animal would probably have to be a bear because he is my spirit animal and he is snuggly just like me.
Oh, that's a good answer. Mine is a dolphin because then I would know how to swim and I'd never have to take lessons. Yeah.
I like snakes.
My favorite animal is a unicorn because they're so magical and pretty and sparkly.
That's a mythical animal.
It's
That's a mythical animal.
No, they're real.
It's real.
No.
My most embarrassing moment was, well, I saw a furry friend and I went to give him a big hug and a little nibble, and it was a couch.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
It happens to everyone.
Yeah. Listen, it's my turn. My most embarrassing moment was when my little brother got a tooth before I did. That's not okay. No.
Weird.
Just gums. Just gums.
My most embarrassing moment was one time I was in the living room and I thought my roommate wasn't home and I started singing to Let It Go from Frozen and he came in and he caught me and it was so terrible.
No, it's okay because that sounds amazing.
I know.
Yeah. My embarrassing moment is one time I was dancing so hard that my eye came right out. But it's okay, it got sewn back on and now I can see better than ever.
Oh, you look beautiful.
Thank you, I love to still dance.
Yeah. My grossest food is chocolate. It's all brown and yucky, but my favorite food is Mars bars.
That is a chocolate.
No, it's not.
It's so weird.
No, it's a planet. It's not a chocolate. It's a planet.
chocolate. It's named after the planet.
No. Let's move on.
True.
No.
You see, I love chocolate cookies, and when my roommate puts raisins instead of chocolate, I get so mad. It's so sad, and I hate raisins.
Raisins are gross.
I know.
Not as gross as broccoli. Ugh, raw broccoli? They're like tiny little trees. You don't eat those. It's so
boil
weird.
it. You gotta boil
I'll
it.
try that next time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but talking of trees, think about flowers. I hate artichokes. They look too much like me for comfort.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I never thought about that.
But I love chocolate, so I eat all his.
Well, that's a really gross question, but I don't have toes or a nose, So I would pick his nose and lick his toes.
Yeah. Hey, well, why do I have to pick? I want to pick my nose and my toes, but if I had to pick, probably my nose, because nutrients are good for you.
And you have no toes, I'm just saying.
That's a bit mean. Wait, what? Really? Would I rather pick my nose or suck my toes? Well, I mean, who doesn't like to go in for a bit of a double?
So true.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I could do both.
Yeah. How about you, Arnold?
Definitely both.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
I'll lick your toes next.
Yeah. Ooh.
Me third. So, now that you've met me and all my furry friends, it is time to get on with the rest of the show.
It's my line.
Hey, no, that was my line.
No, it was my idea.
Would you like to know what's next? And then we can get on with the show. Well, can you remember in last week's episode, we went up to the very top of the hospital, onto the chopper pad, and we met the awesome team from Rescue 500. Yeah. We promised there would be more, and now it is time for part 2. So let's return to the roof.
Okay, everybody, let me give you a tour of Rescue 500, our fantastic helicopter. This end is the back end of the helicopter, and you're looking at the tail rotor right now. The tail rotor has to spin in order to stop the main body of the helicopter spinning in the opposite direction. So it's like the big main rotors spin one way, and the tail rotor stops us from spinning the opposite direction, keeps us in a straight line. And that's what makes all the noise of the helicopter, because the tail rotor blades spin really, really fast. This is a horizontal stabiliser, and this keeps the aircraft nice and straight and level when we're flying in forward flight. As we go around the helicopter, we'll see some other things. These are radio aerials, so we can use the radios to talk to people and communicate with them on the ground. So that's a specific aerial. And as we go around, you'll see up on top here the big black cover on top of the engines. That's an air intake filter. So that's a particle separator to keep all the dust and dirt out of our engines so they operate in a nice clean way. And each of those engines develops 1,872 shaft horsepower, so a lot of horses up there. The winch you can see sits on the side of the helicopter, the same side that the pilot sits on, and the winch enables us to rescue people that might be trapped on the ground or out in the water in an area that's inaccessible. In other words, we can't walk into those patients. So as we come round, we can see the big sliding doors. We have a boot locker here, which inside our boot we carry more medical equipment. So we can open that up and we can see we've got a few more stretchers and some other medical gear that we carry to help our patients there as well. In here are oxygen bottles, so you might use oxygen inside the Lady Salento Hospital. We carry our own 2 big D-sized cylinder oxygen bottles in here, so we've got oxygen on board the aircraft for our sick patients. This is a stretcher bridge with all the monitoring gear that we use on board when we're carrying a patient on the helicopter, so that's called our stretcher bridge. You can see this helicopter has wheels, so the wheels fold up when we fly, which means the helicopter flies through the air a lot better. There's no drag or restrictions on it, so it's really good. Behind the door in the glass here you can see a red cap. That's where we put our fuel in there. That's our jet fuel goes into that hole right there, and we can carry 1,600 kilos of jet fuel, quite a lot of jet fuel. And up the front we've got where the pilot sits and all the controls the pilot uses. The big stick in the front there's the cyclic stick, which I'll just take the cover off, and there's all the controls and radios are operated by me, the pilot here, and then we've got a collective down beside that stick, which is here, which is what we use to change the pitch on the rotor blades. So the blades will actually push more air down and let us fly higher and faster. It's really good. And right at the very front of the aircraft we have our night sun tracker light, and that develops about 30 million candle power of light. So we use that when we're landing at night in the dark in order to see where we're going to land so we don't hit any obstacles like trees or power lines. This special device on the front here is our pitot tube, and as we fly through the air goes into the pitot tube and comes up on our speedo as to how fast we're going through the air. So there's one of those on either side of the helicopter. In the front of the nose here we have our radar, and a radar allows us to paint any storm cells that we might see when we're flying, so we can fly around the storm cells to give our patients nice, smooth rides when we're flying. And of course, up the top is the big main rotor system. So there's 5 rotor blades on this helicopter, and they spin at about 360 revolutions per minute, and they push all the air down, which allows us to go up in the air and fly. So that's a really important part of the helicopter, is the main rotor system and the rotor head up there. And you can see this big spike on top of the helicopter. That big red spike, if we're unfortunate to fly along and go near a power line, we'll cut that power line so it won't damage the helicopter. It's a cable cutter, so it's actually designed to cut wires, and there's a little one under the front here as well, which does the same thing, okay? So that's the cable cutter. And the little grey ball we can see around the other side is our video camera, or our forward-looking infrared. So we've got a lot of very advanced technological pieces of equipment on board our little red and white and blue helicopter Rescue 500.
Mark, my name's Jessie, and I'd like to know what you guys do when you aren't rescuing people in the helicopter.
Jessie, that's a really good question. We have a lot of study to do, and we have a lot of preparation to do before we go flying. So we'll spend time studying in our particular area. I read up on the pilot's information, the doctor and the paramedic are reading up on medical information, and the crewmen are reading up on what they have to do out of our operations manual, which is a really thick document, like 5 books thick.
How many people around about do you rescue a year?
Well, we could do over 2,000 rescues in a year, Jessie, so sometimes it's even a lot more than that, and some years are a lot busier than others. So every day, generally, we do 2 or 3 people, so you can imagine how busy that gets over a whole period of a year. It's really busy in the rescue business that we're in.
What are you thinking when you're on a mission? Are you calm or are you stressed out?
Well, Angie, that's a really good question. We try and stay really cool, calm and collected so we can all focus on what we're doing. So I'll be flying the helicopter, Ben would be operating the winch, Cameron would be going down on the cable, and then Mark and Andrew, our doctor and paramedic, would be trying to get ready to look after the patient. So we do it all very calmly and slowly so that we can help out the people in distress the best we can.
How did you become a rescue on the 500 team?
Well, I learned to fly on weekends. I was actually a school teacher, and I went and took flying lessons, and then eventually I got enough flying hours up to be hired by the Queensland government to work for Rescue 500. So you have to have a lot of experience, and you have to go through a rigorous training program in order to fly this helicopter on the missions that we do.
Thank you for being there for everyone in the world that needs help, and thanks for having a look in the chopper.
Well, thanks very much, Angie. It's a real pleasure to come and meet people like yourself that we've been able to help, and we're so happy that we can give people back to their families and make them better again by getting them to the hospital. So thank you. It's been a real pleasure for us, our Rescue 500 team, to meet you and all the other kids here at the Lady Cilento Children's Hospital.
We want you to be a part of Juice TV. We're always on the lookout for hosts, interviewers, behind-the-scenes helpers, and mini producers. You can be any age, you don't have to have any experience. How much easier could it be? To find out the next time we're filming at the hospital, just head to our website, juicedtv.com.au, or our Facebook page. For loads of fun to break up your stay in hospital, join the Juice crew. Send us an email at hello@juicetv.com.au. or speak to any of the volunteers wearing green shirts throughout the hospital and let them know you want to be involved in the one and only Juice TV.
We're on. Someone's called action already, so we're on. Yeah, it's all good. We're moving on now. I think we're actually going to meet one of our Juice regulars, one of our stars, our heroes, Maxwell.
Oh, yes! I'm so excited for Maxwell to show us what goes on in that really, really, really big building across the road.
You mean the big research building?
Yeah, that's the one.
I am so excited to see what goes on in there. Research is so important.
Yes, it is.
It is, and I think now it's about time that we hand it over to you, Maxwell.
Hey guys, it's me, Max. You might remember me from running the 10K bridge to Brisbane, raising $40,000 for the Queensland Children's Tumor Bank, and that's exactly what's in this building behind me. So why don't you come join me with my family and we can take a look.
Welcome everyone. This is the new Centre for Children's Health Research building.
Well, it's time to meet Dr. Andy. So Andy, what is your job here?
So Max, I'm one of the paediatric oncologists here at the Lady Salento Children's Hospital. So I look after kids with cancer, and I'm also lead the Queensland Children's Tumor Bank, which is where we are today.
Is your job hard?
It can be. It's pretty hard at medical school. I had to learn lots of stuff.
What is your favourite part about your job?
Meeting guys like you. Yeah, there's some pretty cool kids we get to meet, and often they're pretty sick. And you know, the good thing is that we make them better and see them go back to school. Yeah, that's pretty hard to beat. That's pretty cool.
So how do cancers come here?
Good question. So when someone has surgery for their cancer, we don't need all of the tumour material that gets taken out and to make the diagnosis and to do the tests in the laboratory to determine what type of cancer it is. And so often the excess tissue would otherwise get thrown in a bin, like that yellow bin over there. But that's a bit of a waste. We won't learn anything if excess tumour gets thrown in a bin. So we bring that excess tumour material from the pathology department and we basically slice it up into lots of little pieces, and we freeze it to store that material so that research groups around the world and around Australia can learn more about what caused the cancer, why did it start, is there any new treatment that we could give for it, to help us learn things so that we can, cure more kids with cancer. This is the key to the tumour bank. It's just what we call a tissue culture hood. We have a special pot that we put the vials in called a Mr. Frosty, and we put the vials in there. They're little tiny plastic tubes, and then we stick Mr. Frosty in the -80 freezer. So these are tissue culture incubators, and so you can see on the temperature gauge at the top it's 37 degrees. And so that's just the same temperature as our body temperature. So there's a little glass door there that keeps the gas and the temperature controlled. So we open that and we put our little plates and cells in there. See, there's a little fan inside that's circulating air, and they can grow quite happily. And then we can do experiments on them.
The Queensland Children's Tumor Bank is so important to me because, well, here they help cure cancers for kids, and it's always good to see kids get their cancers cured. So why do you think the Queensland Children's Tumor Bank is so important, Andy?
All the same reasons, Max. I couldn't have said it better than you just have. Cancer sucks, yeah? Let's be honest. And we want to cure all kids with cancer. And at the moment, unfortunately, we can't. There are some cancers that we can't cure, but the only way that we're going to do that is through research. And to do research, we need tumour material. We need cancer material from patients, and so that we can do experiments on that material to find out why would those cancer cells become cancer cells, what's driving them, what's making them grow and become a cancer cell, and how do we kill it.
And is that like what you're doing with my cancer, which we just got to see?
Yep. So we're going to make sure that your cancer goes all over the world to different research groups to try and find out as much as we can about what made your cancer cell a cancer cell and how we can better treat it in the future.
Thanks for showing us around today, Andy.
Thanks, Max. My absolute pleasure. I mean, thanks to you, we've got the money to do what we do. I mean, how much did you raise? Like 40,000.
Yeah, I raised 40,000. Yeah.
40 large.
Yeah, for this place.
40 large, and that's just amazing. And so without that money, we couldn't do what we do. Thank you, Max, for everything you've done. And all the people out there that have supported Max, thank you for your donation. Thanks for your donation to the Children's Hospital Foundation, who support the Queensland Children's Tumor Bank. And keep smiling.
Thank you.
Amazing job, Maxwell. You are a true inspiration to us all. A big shout out to our friend Gandalf, also known as Alex, who recently rang the bell to mark the end of his treatment. His mum has a special message for everyone who helped Alex through his journey. Alex showed great determination and bravery throughout his treatment for stage 4 lymphoma and leukemia, but it was combined with the tremendous care, dedication and kindness from all the LCCH staff that brought him to this day. We cannot thank you enough. The Hudson family.
Yes, we agree with you, Anna. All of the nurses and doctors here at the Lady Salento Children's Hospital are amazing, aren't they, Boris?
Yes, they are, and I think it is so great to be here, see some friendly faces. We are happy to help.
Everyone here is really helpful, and there's also some nurses out there who are taking extra steps to make sure that everyone is happy and healthy.
Yeah, and I think now we're gonna go see Sophie and Nurse Di. Yeah.
Yay! I love them.
Hey guys, it's Sophie and it's Pressure Injury Prevention Month and I'm here with one of the nurses, Di. How are you today?
Hi Sophie, I'm well and thanks for helping us make all the children aware of Pressure Injury Prevention Month.
You're welcome. So Di, what is a pressure injury?
A pressure injury is something that occurs with children and adults and it happens when people are sitting in the same position. Sometimes when they're in hospital, if they don't have the right nutritional input, so they don't have all of the food that they eat, and it causes damage to their skin and sometimes really deep tissue, so they're not good.
What do you think I should do if I have a pressure injury?
Well, first of all, we've got to find out where it is. We have to tell the nurses and we have to tell our mums and dads and those people who are caring for us. And then we have to find out how it was caused. So once we know how it was caused, we've got to take that pressure away. So there's lots of things that we do to help take that pressure away. And some of the things are moving.
What are some of the things that we can be doing, Di?
Well, some of the things that we can be doing start off with very simple things. We get our parents and the nurses and the doctors and even yourself to check your skin regularly. So we have to look at your skin every single day to make sure there's no red spots on it. The other things that we need to be doing is be looking under all little bits of equipment and devices. So one of the things we could do would be to check if there's any red spots under there. There's nothing red there. Let's have a look on your glasses. There's nothing on your nose there. So we just look at different places where we think there could be pressure injuries as well. And the big thing is to move.
How bad can a pressure injury get, Di?
Pressure injury can get pretty bad, Sophie. Sometimes they're just a little red spot, but then they can progress to being really deep injuries right down to the bone. And that's really not very nice, no. And it means that sometimes you have to stay in hospital a lot longer than you were planning, and they can be a little bit painful. So we make sure we do everything to take the pain away, but they can be really, really bad. So we don't want anything like that at all. No.
We don't want pressure injuries, do we, Di?
No.
Tell me about how we get moving.
Getting moving is really simple. You don't have to do very much to start moving. Can you move your shoulders around like that? And then you can move your head off the pillow if you're lying down. What about moving your hips from side to side? That's great. Now, I noticed you've been sitting in the same position this whole interview.
Yeah.
How about you move your feet out if you can? That's great.
That feels stretching.
That feels stretching. That's fantastic. See that red spot? That's going to go soon because that's where you've been sitting. That is the start of a pressure injury. Now you've moved and it's gone. Fantastic. So that's one way of preventing pressure injuries, those little movements. Or, you know what, Sophie? You can step it up a notch and you can dance.
Great moves, Isabella. It seems easy to avoid pressure injuries.
You're absolutely right, Sophie. So all you need to do is get your mums and dads and the nurses to help you out.
That seems easy.
Yep.
All right, team, let's dance.
The groove is in the air. Have a look at these mad dancing puppets. What have we got? Gangnam Style over on this side and the Macarena on this side. It is absolutely chaos. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Can we pop it down for a second?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Get down to business and let's find out what actually goes on behind puppeteering, right?
Yeah, so there's lots of different kinds of puppets. Here we have one that is just with a stick, whereas Blair's puppet over here has a whole hand. So she can point and she can give the thumbs up and extra things. Back in the theatre we have a really big giant puppet head that people fit in under, so there's lots of different types that can be used on stage.
Wow. Now, this isn't an easy thing because you guys need to give character and personality to these puppets. So where do you kind of start off with something like that, Blair?
I think it depends on the line, and so you deliver the line and you start off by improvising, what mood are they in, what has happened previously, who are they interacting with, and then you just show it in your gestures, subtle facial expressions. It's all about the puppet, really. Yeah.
Making sure the puppet is the star.
Yes. Yeah.
Hannah, what about how to start out? Like, obviously you don't need to start off with an amazing puppet like these guys, but you could start off with something really simple at home. You've got very creative and talented kids out there.
Yeah, definitely. So when I was younger, I used to start out with socks. So I'd make sock puppets. So I'd give them little button eyes or little yarn hair, and I would just practice with that and just keep playing with it around.
And would you say, like, practicing in front of a mirror is a good point, because then you can kind of see what you're doing?
Definitely. So I'd practice in front of a mirror, see if I could move the mouth to how I spoke, and I'd practice in front of my parents and they'd tell me how I went as well.
Maybe practice with some friends.
Nurses, brothers, sisters. Let's talk about favourite and hardest things about puppetry, Maeve.
Ooh. Well, some of my favourite things is how expressive puppets can be in ways that you can't necessarily do in real life. Like, for example, look at this. Yes.
I wish I was
But then one of the harder things about puppeting is making sure that you get the mouth in sync, because to make it realistic, you have to get every syllable that you're saying in time with the puppet's mouth. And also, your arms can get quite tired just holding them up all the time.
Yes. I've got a lot of muscles now.
Yeah, bit of a workout. And how did you get into puppetry, Lorraine?
Well, we auditioned for Brisbane Arts Theatre, and our director encouraged us to start with some puppeteering. I did some on some other shows before, and it's just great learning some little tips about, like, opening the mouth is like listening, and like if you're angry, the mouth is closed, you can be scared.
Oh, that makes me really sad to see him.
Yeah, so just lots of things like that. It's a lot of fun to play with.
So you can have a bit of an acting background to bring the life to the puppet.
Yeah. So if you're interested in acting, maybe try for Brisbane Arts Theatre. They have some shows coming up. Just get into it.
Beautiful. Well, and you can be a part of shows, and you can come and be hosts on Juice TV.
Oh, we look forward to it. Yes, I'm so excited. Because it's so exciting to be on TV at last. It's a big dream of mine.
We're finally famous.
Yes.
You guys have been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode.
Thank you for having us. It's such a good time.
Oh, we can have a hug.
Yes.
We'll see you guys.
Remember, guys, it's so easy to be a part of Juice TV. Whether you want to be a host, help us out behind the scenes with filming, or decide what goes into each episode. Let us know you want to be involved by sending an email to hello@juicetv.com.au or speak to one of the friendly volunteers throughout the hospital in the green shirts. Also, head to our website and Facebook page for all the updates about what we're filming at the hospital.
Let's check out the... I forgot.
Everyone is really helpful. And what was my line going to be for you?
Oh, well, now I think we're going to go see Sophie and Nurse Di.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone knows what's going on.
And the nurses to help you out.
Okay, crazy lady.
Oh my God, that's totally going in our bloopers.